Are we on? Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Western Reviews Podcast. I am back in full form. I'm your host, the Western Wonder. Today, I have a review for Netflix's latest hit miniseries. You might know of it, you might not. It's called True Story. It's a little fateful tale of a comedian who gets himself entangled in a web of lies, deception, and murder with his brother. Joining me today for this particular review, I'm lucky to have him since he actually knows a piece of the city that this story takes place in. I've never actually touched this place. I've never been in there before. Is another consistent movie and television review podcaster who you definitely will probably have to check after this review. I'm lucky to have him on. Please give him a warm welcome wherever you are to Mr. Scene Invaders.
Or
what is your particular name for those that want to know?
My name's Dan. Yeah.
Okay,
and I
Dan.
only know you as the Western Wonder. So what's your actual name?
Well, we're going to keep it a mystery for this particular episode.
Oh, nice. I like it. I like that.
How are you doing this fine day, sir?
Good, man. I'm ready to go. Ready to talk about this series. And as you said, yeah, I'm from Philadelphia. And even though a lot of this was actually filmed at a soundstage in Los Angeles, but that was only due to COVID. They were supposed to go and do everything live in Philadelphia. And Kevin Hart was actually going to do an entire show as Kid, but it didn't work out because of COVID. Yeah.
Well,
so I got my Sixers jersey on for you.
Whoa, look at that. Some Philly jersey for you today out there listening. That's a true person coming out from Philly. Now, if you would like to, tell us a little bit about your show. I'll be sure to get you a little shout out, more information about where you can listen to your show by the end of the show. What is Scene Invaders?
Okay, so Scene Invaders is a movie, TV podcast, and we give our reviews. And, the best thing I could say that I like to give is recommendations. So, we don't want to be bored. We all want to have stuff to look forward to. So that's probably my number one thing that I like to give my listeners stuff to watch or something to be excited for. But actually, Mr. Western Wonder, what we've kind of been transitioning into is interviews, which I love doing interviews. As we said pre-show, I just interviewed Patty Cutts, one of the best barbers in the world, who is now the creative director for Kamaru Usman, one of the best fighters in the world, champion for UFC. I interviewed Matt Farah of the Smoke and Tire podcast, Ryan Airy from Screen Crush, and I would love to do more of that. I love doing interviews, man. It's kind of turning into my passion there.
That's so exciting. And guys, be sure to check out Scene Invaders. We'll have more information for his show by the conclusion of this review. Now, since I don't have any crazy good transitions to go through, just like the folks, people out there who actually might have better budgets than I do, we're going to get right into this review for True Story. And want to start, of course, by episode. You can give your piece on what you thought about it. Maybe even some memories of the local particular places that the story was set in Philly, even though it was not exactly filmed in Philly, now that I know.
Some of it was. Some was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. We're going to start with the first episode of the series, which is entitled The King of Comedy. Just for those that don't know, just a little plot breakdown here. This episode in particular introduced you to the Kid. This is a comedian played by Kevin Hart. He's successful in every which way he is. He has a hit movie with Chris Hemsworth. That's nearly $1 billion at the box office, a hit comedy tour and motivational press tours that is inspiring people across the globe. Everything seems pretty good until he meets up with his older brother named Carlton, played by Wesley Snipes, during a tour stop in Philly. And if you think he's anything like Carlton, like the Fresh Prince might have popularized, he's not. But the brothers go out partying and get an ugly taste of reality when they realize that a woman who accompanied Kid back to his bedroom suite that particular evening has died next to him over a drug overdose. So the Kid and Carlton freak out and try to figure out what to do, how to get rid of this woman. And in comes this particular unusual fellow named Ari, played by Billy Zane, to save the day, or so we think. What are your thoughts coming into this first episode, if we can get it from you?
So immediately I was drawn in. So Kevin Hart being from Philadelphia, and in the show Kid, the character he plays is also from Philadelphia. So they're going from Los Angeles back to Philly. and immediately I knew we weren't in for a typical Kevin Hart performance, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Even though he plays a comedian in the show, this is not a comedy show. And I
Mm-hmm.
really was impressed that Kevin Hart was trying something different, to try to show his range a little bit. And
Yeah.
none other than Wesley Snipes is playing his brother. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in right away. And then we
Yeah.
have that altercation on the airplane with that guy just being totally
Yes.
inappropriate. Totally
Very.
inappropriate. And his bodyguard, man, he was one of my favorite characters in the whole show.
Yeah, I like him.
Uh,
I like him.
and Herschel, and right away he wants to beat the shit out of this guy. Um, and I'm like, oh boy. So Will, played by Eric Nenniger, yeah, he's just not a nice man. Well, he thinks he's being nice, but he's not. And yeah, we were in for a long ride. And I tell you what, man, this was very easy to binge. Very easy.
Yeah, very easy. Very easy. And it's
This
a
was the
perfect
longest
opening
episode.
Oh yeah, it is because it gets less and less in time as time goes on. Kind of fluctuates. Some episodes go up to 30 minutes, some are below. This one's nearly an hour. Just easy, knocking
Mm-hmm.
out the box. But I agree with you on most of those parts. The first episode, honestly, dialogue was a little slow, but it was on purpose. And I wouldn't even be myself if I were not to say that, I was a little skeptical. It's like, what's Kevin going to do here? Is he trying to be funny? What, what's the goal here with this episode? And then the last couple of minutes, where things get intense, I'm like, I'm kind of feeling it now. The drama, the intensity of this particular kid. He's definitely not one to play with. Little Kevin Hart. Quite a bit of an intense moment at the end. If you haven't watched it, please, you gotta watch it. But it's a great opening episode that introduces you to his characters, his people in his world, and nice little foreshadowing for some pieces of this episode into the future for episode 2, which is called The Greek Takeout.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'll tell you what, I didn't notice that it was Billy Zane until you just said it. Now, I knew that was somebody I recognized, and I just didn't look
mhm.
it up for some reason. But yeah, his character was very well played, Billy Zane. I really liked what he
Yeah,
did
very
there.
menacing, very mysterious.
Um, oh, very
Indeed.
mysterious, man. I mean, talk about the first episode where, we think everything's going good. He comes to see his brother. He's having a good time.
Hmm.
All of a sudden,
Hmm.
there's the dead woman in his bed. And we're just like, oh boy, okay, this is what's happening. Okay. This is not a
Very
typical Kevin Hart
interesting.
series. Yeah. Yeah. That's a way to start your trip off, huh?
Right, right.
Man.
And I wish we could have gotten more of him, but unfortunately, he's gone by the end of the episode 1. So,
Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, is he?
yes, which is
So
pretty much what episode 2 is, right?
yeah. So they play there's 3 Greek brothers who are basically mobsters in Philadelphia, running
Not
out
your
of a strip.
Godfather.
Yeah. Running out of a strip club. That's actually a strip club in Philly, but I don't know if they filmed inside or if they just used the establishing shots for the outside. But
Uh-huh.
man, they were pretty intimidating guys. I'll tell you what. And the one of them, I knew him, Diana. I cannot say Greek names. Oh boy,
Yeah.
Diamantopoulos. He plays Savas, right?
Been having a
So
good month.
yeah. Oh yeah, because he was in Red Notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I first saw him in Silicon Valley, and he was like this wild agent type person, who's super funny. So me seeing him for the first time, like Kevin Hart, and he was comedic, so comedic. Like he was really funny. Did you ever see Silicon Valley?
I've never seen him. I actually know him for being this current day's Mickey Mouse. Under the last Mickey Mouse passed away several years ago, and he's done them in those little Disney shorts that have come out. I don't
Okay.
know if they still make new ones, but he is he is Mickey Mouse nowadays. But
Well,
that's what I know
okay.
him for.
Well, I would really recommend Silicon Valley. It's on HBO Max. It's a series about these people starting a business and a technology based business in Silicon Valley. It's really funny show. It's hilarious, and his character is so good, dude. He's
I gotta check
just
it out.
oh man, he's hilarious. But then, like you said, he plays a gangster in Red Notice, basically, and now he's a gangster again. So he's really found his range there, really, because he can do comedy because he's hilarious, and then he can play a pretty threatening type of character.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I gotta check out the show. I'm sure HBO Max would appreciate that shout out. Just like you guys gotta check out my Red Notice review, which I did. This is the second live action outing I've seen from him, not Silicon Valley being the first. But now that you said it's good, I gotta check it out. Put it in my watch list.
It is definitely good.
And another gangster, I'll get back with you in a moment, but another gangster I did not notice that was in there. I thought this was another unknown actor, but the other brother, Nico's, he just was some random actor to me until I realized I seen him in the Eddie Murphy era Nutty Professor movies that was released over 2 decades ago. I'm like, I didn't know that was him. That's because it didn't have any facial hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that guy before. I never recognized that guy before, but I'm looking at his IMDb now, and yeah, he's been in a few things that I've seen, but I've never noticed him before. But all three of them did a great job as intimidating gangsters, for sure.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
And now I know the Greek language comes off as very intimidating because when they're talking to themselves and they don't want people to know what they're talking about, it's like, whoa, okay, I'll step back for a little bit. And Wesley Snipes definitely knows that these guys are not to be messed with.
At all. At all.
At all. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Well, pretty much that series pretty much focuses on how to get rid of this particular body after Kevin Hart. By the way, that scene in particular, I don't see Kevin Hart doing that. He's so little trying to fight a big guy. I don't know how it was done, but it was so well done to me. But anyway,
yeah,
seeing to try to figure out.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I went back and watched that episode again, and I told you I was going to do that, but I think he used the charger that he borrowed on the airplane. I'm not positive, but that's what it looked like to strangle Ari. Did he? Is that a fact?
I believe he did.
It looked like it, yeah. And like you said, Billy Zane's like twice the size of Kevin Hart, weight and height. And it's like, yeah, okay. And he was by himself.
I'm right.
It's not like he had Wesley Snipes in the room with him to help him. He did that by himself.
Right. If it was both of them together, then that would probably make more sense in my mind. If he told me several years ago that Kevin Hart, comedian who's been doing various voice roles, Secret Life of Pets or whatever, ends up having a role where he has to strangle a man that's much more sturdier in weight than him, it'd be crazy. I'd have to slap you.
And I'll tell you what, the episode title is hilarious too. It's called Greek Takeout. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I didn't notice until much after the fact. Like, okay, that makes sense now. That fits because I'm paying more attention to the actual episode itself. The titles really don't click in until much when the particular conflict comes in each episode. So
yeah,
what to take.
Well, when we get to the finale, I have something to say about that episode's title. We'll get to it.
Of course. Now, with that second episode, Kid pretty much leaves his brother to try to figure out how to get rid of him. He just says, cut his body off just pretty much the same way Ari told him before he died, how to get rid of this particular lady from the bedroom. Cut him up, do whatever you got to do, just get rid of him. Because he has a photo shoot coming on. He doesn't want people to see a dead body. Obviously, that would not be good news for him. He'd go to jail, whatever, lose his career, blah, blah.
And see if you agree with me on this. It's while rewatching it, it seemed like he was asking his advice on how he got rid of that body just so he could do it to him. So he got the advice from the person that he was going to do that to. It's pretty clever.
I thought so myself. It was a really clever way. Yeah, I thought so.
And then episode 2 is when we're introduced to Gene played by Theo Rossi from what was the motorcycle show? Oh my gosh, I'm looking it up now. It was like Sons of Anarchy, and he played Juice in Sons of Anarchy, and my wife didn't even recognize him because in Sons of Anarchy he's got like a shaved head, he's got like a tattoo on his face, and in this he plays like this obsessed fan that ends up being called Stan, from the Eminem song. And great job. The casting and the performances across the board were really good in this show. I
Yeah,
gotta admit it.
yeah,
Yeah, really good job.
indeed. I actually liked him, and we're gonna see a lot more of him in these episodes coming down the line. I say this is like it's a 10 episode series. It's a 7 episode miniseries, but still. Also, liking the fact that this episode kind of has Carlton separately when he's shaving away this bad guy image. He really does not want to take this part of chopping down this big guy because number one, he didn't commit the murder, and second of all, he knows how crazy his brothers are. They're mobs, so the kid doesn't. But seeing him
Well,
hesitate, oh man, I felt
and
bad for him a little bit.
it'll all make sense when we get to it towards the end. But speaking of
Hmm.
Carlton and played by Wesley Snipes, going back to episode 1 and episode 2, think of it this way, right? Kid had 6 months sober. 6 months. That's a lot
Yeah,
of time. And Wesley Snipes goes, "Oh, just have one shot." Like you can't do that to someone who's sober, right? And then
exactly. You
and
can't.
then the woman dies in his hotel room and he goes, "Well, this is on you." Not really, dude. You forced him basically to drink and to break his sobriety, and then he ends up in this situation because of you, Wes, not because of him.
Yeah,
So not fair.
yeah.
And even the killing of Ari, he goes, "Well, that's on you." Not really. Like he'd all be in this. He wouldn't be in the situation if you didn't do this, Carlton. So take some responsibility here.
Right, right. Yeah, it was just a little bit bad, but realizing what he's done, not good news. No bueno. But still, Wesley Snipes plays him down really good,
Okay.
getting himself into this situation. Really.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, he does. And he looks a lot different, or at least he did for this role, because
Hmm.
I knew he was in the show, and his first scene, it didn't click for like 10 seconds that was Wesley Snipes. I was like, "Oh, that's who it is." And yeah, he looked different. He did a good job of like disguising himself, and his dialogue was spot on of how some people talk in Philadelphia. And yeah, he did a great job, man. Like I said, I liked all the actors, actresses, everybody did a great job in this show. Really good job.
Of course, of course. I like Wesley Snipes. And we're going to talk about some more moments here and there. I'm breaking down all these episodes to the best of what I just remembered because rewatching stuff. The third episode called Victory Lap. Okay, with this episode, Kid thinks everything is fine, got rid of the body, There was a little bit of a scare in the previous episode, getting with the police.
Mhm.
Carlton thought, oh no, this could be the end of my being, mysterious. We're going to jail. Turns out they're fans of Kid. They have a good time out there that evening. You can see a little bit of the stress in Carlton's face. Wesley Snipes, he's that great an actor. You can still see, even though partaking in some of these things, not to be trusted, he's very tense. In comes this obsessed fan again, Gene.
Gene.
Turns out he followed them, and he
Mhm.
has the video.
Yeah, we find that out at the end of the episode, right before Kid's about to go on stage for his second show at Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah.
And yeah, he lays that bomb on him like, "Hey man, I followed you last night."
You see
And
this thing
Kid,
I got on my phone here? Yeah.
right. And Kid's trying to be like, "All right, I'll talk to you after the show. I got to go on." He's like, "Well, no, no, look. I followed you." And then with the body, and Kid's like, "Body? Oh shit!" So then he
Yeah.
goes on stage, and he just stares at the crowd and just goes, "Fuck!" And then he can't do it. He just stops.
Just bombed.
Just walks off stage, and that
Uh,
really kicks off the rest of the series here of what's going to happen. They got
yeah.
hard, cold evidence that could put them away for life right on this guy's phone. And
Absolutely.
Gene's really lackadaisical about it. Like, what? Like, what's the big deal? It's the video. And he doesn't realize the implications that could follow.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Indeed, indeed. This is what the remaining episodes are trying to get rid of this particular tape of the dead body.
Yep.
Uh,
And also this episode is when Kid finally found out that Carlton owes the Greek $600,000. And Kid's like, "Isn't this something I should have known about already? Like, you're just telling me now?" So he stays calm, he stays collected. He really stays calm, cool, and collected up until Gene tells him about the video. But
Right.
speaking of video, kid grabs the phone and he goes, "Look here, I'll take care of it. Hey guys, I'm gonna pay my brother's debt, $600,000 once the bank opens on Monday. You got my word." And then he takes it to the Greeks and shows them that video, and we think that's gonna be taken care of. So yeah, interesting.
So we think. Yeah, and then
Right.
he completely loses it. Which we opened the next episode with Kid just losing it. Kind of fits very well with this kid thing. I'm like, is he trying to channel Prince's kid from Purple Rain? Because they have him have a similar amount of mental breakdowns. A lot of stuff get destroyed. Purple Rain doesn't actually hit people, but Kevin Hart throws hands with several of his crew, except his what's the name of the girl? I forgot about her, but he's the one that is always, yes, of course, yeah, Billy.
Yeah,
another fellow up and coming comedian. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he hit Herschel, I was like, why would he do that? Like, what are you doing? Like, it didn't make sense. But I guess, in the situation, he didn't mean to do it. And
right, he's repeated. Yeah.
Yeah, not having a great day. Let's just say
at
that.
all. Yeah, when he did that, I was like, oh, is this the end of True Story? If it was like a mini series, the series would probably end there. But they let him get in this stitchy. Herschel's looking at him like he one shot. Next time he shoots that, it's gonna be some problems.
Yeah, what do you say? Like, I'll give you one. That's fine.
Right.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
That's probably the worst person to hit, your bodyguard. Why would you ever hit your bodyguard?
Why?
Like, come on. They're supposed to be able to take a bullet for you, and you're hitting the guy over nothing. Like, at least Herschel thought it was nothing at the time, Man,
and speaking of bodyguard, I like that pun that Carlton did. Calling him Kevin Costner when he would not like the fact that they were just looking down on him like, oh, this scrub brother Carlton. You really don't like him, but he's like, hey, Kevin Costner, we got this situation fine. The body bag's fine. Several episodes back, but I thought that was funny because Herschel's 100% opposite of Kevin Costner. I mean, he's got that intimidation, but he's not exactly the guy you want to hit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That is probably the last person he would want to hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for multiple reasons.
Right.
But yeah, Herschel was great, man. Such a good character, so loyal, but he just wants to be kept in the loop. That's all he wants.
Right.
And Kid just cannot do it for him at this particular time.
No.
So
absolutely not.
But I like another great title, We Should Be Together Too, straight up from the Stan song. So and this is when they meet in the parking lot. And Carlton wanted Kid to kill him right then and there.
Right, had a gun on him, was ready. Like, kill him.
Ready to go.
But Kid's hard.
Did you think when he opened up the trunk that Kid was going to do it right there? I did.
Possibly, yeah.
I was like, oh, he's going to do it. And then what's he do?
We saw he put a freaking charger port on a big guy. I mean, Kid can do anything.
Yeah. And I could have sworn he was going to do it, but it turns out Carlton was a great athlete for Philadelphia High School, and he was a fan of his as well. And he credits Carlton for being Kid's motivation to get where he's at today. And he turns out to be just really nice to Carlton and a fan. And really, Gene is just a good guy. Really, at the end of the day, he's just a good guy.
Indeed. I like Carlton's reaction though, like, no, that's not me. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm Carlton.
Mm-hmm. Not me. I wasn't there. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, nice little character reveal. Because you can see before that reveal the stress, the frustration, and the jealousy and envy flowing out of that man's face. Just seeing him have that moment. Like, just shoot him already. Until that happens. Like, can't really get rid of him now.
Yeah, my wife was sitting there like, they're really going to do this in broad daylight? And I was like, I guess so. That's what Carlton wants them to do. I don't know. I'm not there. But yeah,
I would not personally.
Weird plan. And seriously, man, every single bit of Carlton's advice was really detrimental to Kid. Like none of his advice helped like throughout the entire series. He thought it would help. Like I believe Carlton believed that he was right, but he wasn't.
Always.
None of his advice was good.
At all. at all. And we can see that this rears its ugly head as we get into
Yeah.
episode number 5 of Hard Feelings.
Yeah. So
Uh,
at the end of 4, Kid believes he can convince Gene to delete the video and that he does not need to murder him. He says, "Look, man, he's a fan. I got this. I can deal with this. I know what to do." So he invites him to the charity gala the next day, and that's Hard Feelings, episode 5. Deals with that. They go to the charity, and who's there but Will from the plane.
In war!
Yeah. He destroyed him, man. Destroyed him. And Will's boss was black, Shelly, and he straight up just told everyone what he said on the plane. And I found it odd after the show. Will's like, "Thanks a lot, you got me fired." It's like, dude, you said those words. No one got you fired.
Right, even Kid says like you kind of fired yourself, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But seeing the boss's reaction when he's like, "Oh, he's never did that bit with you." No, he did not. He kind of looks like he could be Obama's father, just a little bit. The complexion, just a little bit. His look of shock. It's like, no, he hasn't done that bit with me, but he's gonna be fired, so he will never do that bit with me.
Now, I was kind of confused because Gene was like hurt that Kid embarrassed Will like that, but you're dealing with straight up racism, man. Racism, and you're surprised that Kid did that. Like that was the one moment from Gene that didn't seem like his character. It seemed like he had his back no matter what, but he was a little offended. Yeah, he was a little offended that he treated a fan like that. And at that point, that's not a fan. That's a racist. That's not a fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wasn't feeling Gene in this episode at all. Sorry, Gene.
I agree. Yeah, it was a weird moment for sure.
Absolutely. And this particular moment, you think things go well for Gene after they have a little bit of rekindle their friendship, the fan stuff, it's all about friendship. You're going to be, Kid talks about this little circle, part of the circle, you're connected to close, everything seems fine for him. Next episode, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, he straight up hooks up Gene. He goes live on Gene's Instagram. Gene's followers go up to the 100,000 mark and beyond. And he goes, behind the scenes Gene. Like, Gene's got it made at this point, and all he's got to do is delete that video. That's all he's got to do. Just delete the video.
But keeps on holding on until this particular part.
Yeah. So episode 6 called "The Things You Do for Your Family." What'd you think of this, man?
Well, first of all, I I think that Vin Diesel for Fast and the Furious, I think he would approve of. I don't know. He always loves talking about his family. I'm sure he's seen this episode, but I don't think he would do what Carlton would have done here.
Yeah. Oh man, I felt so bad, dude. So bad for Gene. So basically, what do you think about this, man? In my opinion, Kid really wraps him in and convinces him that he's family. So Gene deletes the video. Then Kid tells Carlton that it's gone. Carlton comes up with the idea to go give him Ari's watch, a very specific and expensive watch. He decides to give this to Gene. Gene thinks it's just a nice gesture, but really he's trying to pin evidence and force the murder on Gene so that he could kill Gene, get rid of that threat of Gene ever maybe he had a backup of the video or something like that. So to get rid of the thought that he could be exposed by Gene, and also give the Greeks someone that this guy killed your brother. That's over. So he thought he was killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought.
And how about this, man? Gene sacrifices his life so that Kid can be free of this murder. He goes, "Your fat brother, Ari, yeah, he begged for mercy when I killed him." Wow. I was like, no way did he just give up his life for Kid. No way. I was shocked. Totally shocked.
He took that L for kid.
He really did, man. He really did. Like, I could have sworn that the Greeks were going to walk outside, bring Carlton in the room, and then Gene would have been like, he just gave me this watch just now. Like,
And
I
that
don't have
would have been
anything
the
to do
only
with
thing
this.
that could have saved him.
He could have been like, I don't have anything to do with this. But guess what?
But
The
he
Greeks
started
would have
this
killed them both.
killmonger. Oh, does your fat brother? He was begging for mercy. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dang.
I know, dude. When they got to the door and he screamed that, well, the director did a great job in cutting in the moments that Gene and Kid have had together the last day, and really just showing that Gene was all on Kid's side, and Kid came up with the idea to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going down for this. Maybe he didn't think he was going to be killed, but oh boy, did he get killed. Beat to death.
He did. And perfect back-to-back between the action to Carlton just standing outside like, I hope they don't get back to me.
Yeah.
You can feel a little bit of guilt. But like,
I mean, look, to be honest, he was like 30 seconds away from being exposed. Like, to be real. But Gene took it, man. He took the fall. He really did.
Right.
Number one fan.
Yep. The things you do for your family.
Man, what a crazy episode, man. This episode hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Gave me the feelings a little bit of movie allergies, as I like to call them. When all of a sudden your eyes get wet when you're watching a movie or a TV show. It's just movie allergies, That's what we got to call it.
Just a little bit. Might be a little bit of onions at the side of your door, but
yeah. Good episode, though, but a little hurtful.
It shakes off at the end because the final episode, the main theme is vindication for the kid. I like this. This is probably one of my personal favorite titles. Like Cain did Abel.
Okay.
I'm sure Bible folks will get that.
Now, listen, I understand that title is good, but it's also dangerous because a lot of times when I'm watching a Netflix series, and this happened to my friend, I may go into episodes and more just to see how many episodes are in the series because it doesn't tell you unless you go into that episodes and more section. Now, if you go there and you happen to see chapter 7, like Cain did Abel, right off the bat, you know that one brother kills another brother. You know it.
Yeah.
So it's a big spoiler right in the title. And that happened to my friend Matt, and he texted me like, what the heck, dude? Now I know what's going to happen. And I'm like, well, you don't know which brother is going to die. I guess you can think of that way. But
right?
Yeah. Crazy.
Pretty much. But yeah, this final episode, Kid he pretty much figures out everything. His brother is behind all the foolishness. The girl that he thought was dead in his bed. She really is not dead. And she kind of also takes the fall too at this point in this episode. She really doesn't survive long. And Kid has to take matters to his own hands. Got to get rid of Carlton one way or another. Just it's over.
Yeah, man. Listen, dude, Savas was a savage. I think that's why they named him Savas, man. He had no remorse. No remorse at all. He killed the shit out of her. Just bam, bam, bam.
Really grim, very dark. Yeah.
Yep. And then he got a call from his brother. He's like, look, I know where Kid's at. Let's go take care of this. And then they run in the Wells Fargo Center, just shooting up the place, just trying to kill these guys, man. They did not care. They just wanted to kill these people for killing their brother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of what happened? Let's build it up for a second, right? So you have Savas and Nikos going into Wells Fargo Center. You have Kid and Carlton along with Herschel.
Kid is straight. He's like, Carlton, I never want to see you again after this. When he builds up, because beforehand, Carlton does not know what this particular meetup is for until they get to the venue. And he says, I know everything. Because at first, it's a mental breakdown over bad business decisions. Then it turns out, yeah, I know everything, and I don't want to see you again. And the intensity builds up. Them and the two mobsters that come in and figure out where they are, and it's a whole crime scene. It has you at your edge of the seat because you don't know what's going to happen. It caught me too. Caught me.
And I believe this was the one I was talking about. I believe this was the only scene actually shot at Wells Fargo Center, because when they were in the suites, that's what the suites actually look like. And then when they left, that's what the hallway looks like. So I think that was actually shot there, but everything else is probably at a sound stage in LA. But Herschel cracked the door. He heard everything that actually happened. And yeah, man, Carlton faked it all along. So really, their plan was for so Ari wanted $500,000 a month for a year. So he wanted $6 million. So that tells me that Carlton and Ari had a plan all along to split this $6 million, and Carlton was going to use that money to pay off the Greeks while also making another $3 million in the process. So that's really messed up, man. Really messed up.
Not good. Not
How could you do that to your brother? How could you do that to your own brother? Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would never.
And then we get to the ultimately one of the craziest scenes where you think Carlton's finally manning up and he's going to take the bullet for his brother, but Kid turns into John Wick all of a sudden. Pop, pop, two headshots right off the bat. That was really crazy, man. I did not see that coming at all.
What? How'd you do that? It's like, we'll explain everything over at the door. I'm like, okay, all right, how's this going to go? And then this is what it gets you. It's like, okay, they're going to go out together. Kid says, and one more thing. And it just, you freeze. I think the last kind of thing that has got me like frozen seeing a particular scene like this was probably something of an old Tyler Perry movie several years ago, but geez.
Yeah, like Cain did Abel, huh? Bang, bang, right in the chest. And in this process, Herschel also was shot. I thought he was dead. Did you?
Yeah.
It didn't look good for Herschel. Didn't look good for him. But Kid decides to finish this series of murders that he's complete. What, he killed 3 people? Yeah, 3 people. He killed all the Greeks. He killed all 3 of the Greeks.
And his own brother.
And his own, so 4. Yeah, and his own brother. And then he does some great acting with "They shot my brother. And
that was the part that I was laughing at. Oh my God, somebody help me.
Oh, help me. Yeah. And the Greeks had shot the security cameras just beforehand. So there was no way of knowing who actually killed who. And Kid killed all of them, and he got out looking like a victim.
Well, except good on him.
Herschel was not fooled. And man, I felt bad for him. And guess what? Herschel was like, I'm done with your bullshit, man. I just got shot. You could have got me killed. You could have got Billy killed. You could have got all of us killed because you were lying. Tell me what's happened. And I was super surprised that Kid told Todd and Herschel the truth. He told him exactly.
Right, because his manager has no idea what's going on. He's just looking like, why has it been acting weird this past couple of days? The whole truth comes out, and his face is priceless. Hearing all of this come out of his mouth, like, really?
Yeah,
he looks tempted to quit.
Yeah, dude, I was shocked that he told him the whole truth. Like, he didn't lie at all. He told him exactly what happened in the order that it happened. Yeah, dude, I was taken back. Like, okay, he's actually coming out and telling the truth here. And then the final scene, if you go back to episode 1 was the final scene. And
thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah, full circle and finish it off like that. And what a wild ride the show was. What a wild ride.
And man, true story.
I'll tell you, true story. There you go. It's the show. So I think that's the best part of a miniseries, but also the part that's kind of sad because miniseries are great. They do not hold back. There's no filler. There is no filler at all. They give you everything in a quick time. But then also you always want a little bit more. Like, I wish they did another season. But you got to take it for what it is and appreciate a miniseries. It's basically like a long movie is what a miniseries is. And yeah, man, really good stuff. I was very impressed. Who's your favorite character?
Man, I would probably say Wesley Snipes as Carlton, or the guy that played Herschel. Simply for the fact that you just they're strong and tough. That they just they take no for an answer.
Yeah,
and they're not the guys that you're supposed to be hitting up on.
So William Catlett, that was the guy who played Herschel. All right, since you said those two, I'll shout out Kid and Paul Aldestein, who played Todd. I think he was great, man. Did a good job, and he's very loyal. and he would do whatever kid asked. He's like, all right, you need me to send this guy money? You got it. I'm there for you. I'll do whatever you want. Now, who's your favorite villain?
Favorite villain, probably the mobsters, the
Which
brothers.
one?
Which
Do
one
you
in
have?
particular? Salvos the Savage.
I agree. Savage the Savage, man. Wow. Like I said, Chris Diamopoulos, man. I cannot say Greek
Seeing them
names.
both from Red Notice to this, I was just like, oh, that was abrupt.
Yeah, dude. Wait till you see Silicon Valley. You're gonna be like, what the heck? This guy?
Yeah.
This guy. He's so funny in that show. Hilarious. Yeah, man. All right, I agree with you. I mean, he was great. Savas, man. Just great.
Yeah. Oh man, just great. And shout out to Kevin Hart once again as the kid. Was definitely not expecting this very dramatic role. I mean, I was kind of expecting through the trailers a little bit because I actually saw a trailer of this a while back, but it was very vague. And it's Kevin Hart, you know. But most comedians, I think, in the past several whatever decades, have kind of proved their points of having like a successful little show, being dramatic for once. And it'll be a good
Yeah.
awards hit, I'm sure, probably.
I'll tell you what, man. I love when people step out of their comfort zone and try something new because, throughout this whole series, Kevin Hart really didn't have any lines that were comedic at all. Like, even though he was a comedian, it was really very dramatic and he took a different turn. And Heartbeat Productions co-produced this series. So that's Kevin Hart's production company.
He produced it.
And yeah, and I'll tell you what, like, do you think we'll get more dramatic turns out of Kevin Hart?
Most likely.
I agree. It seems like it's like a passion of his to try to prove that, hey, I can do more than just comedy. And whenever I think of this, of someone that's in comedy that goes to something else, I always go to Jordan Peele because, Jordan Peele is hilarious. He had Key and Peele. He was on different sketches before that even came out. He was in a slew of comedic movies, and even in the animated movie, like him and Key were both in Toy Story 4, and they were in other animated things as well. And he's just one of those guys where if he tells a joke, I laugh. Like, he's just funny.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and does Get Out and Us. And it's like, whoa, where did this come from, man? You know what I mean?
Indeed,
and
yeah.
That's where I always go. Like, just because someone's funny doesn't mean they don't have other talents. So I would love to see Kevin Hart do more dramatic turns in the future because I thought he did a great job, man. And
Indeed.
Really, I can't think of any other thing that he's done that comes close to True Story. I can't.
At all. In terms of drama, comedy, this has got to be his top role he's ever done, really.
Yeah, man.
It's a little more difficult to classify for Wesley Snipes and other actors that are generally known to be outside of the box and really do any genre that comes up.
Exactly. Now, he's got to be, if I'm Kevin Hart, you got to be proud of yourself in this moment, man. You really do. Because you took a chance, you did something vastly different, and you knocked it out of the park. And guess what? It's a miniseries. So this could win multiple Emmys. It really could. Or Golden Globes. Because you got the award for best miniseries. You got the award for leading actor in a miniseries. And
supporting actor.
Yeah, but Kevin Hart could specifically win both of those awards. I would not be surprised if Wesley Snipes won supporting actor.
Because I don't think he's gotten any nods in those awards before. I don't think he has.
I'm not sure. I don't think he does either. But I really wouldn't be surprised if True Story won multiple awards when award season comes up because it was really great, man. It was really great. That's why when you brought up that you were going to talk about it, I was like, oh, I got to come on and talk to Weston Wonder about this, man. Gotta come on and talk to him. Yeah.
A little discussion.
Yeah. It was really cool, dude. So I enjoyed it thoroughly.
And same thing for me. I had a great time enjoying it. Can't wait to see what is down the line for some of these actors that are in there. I gotta check out some of the works that they've done before this came out. That sounds pretty interesting. But yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'll say it again. Silicon Valley. You're gonna be you'll have like 5 to 6 seasons of just pure enjoyment. It is so good, so funny, so well written, and there's plenty of comedic minds in that show that will give you hours and hours of entertainment, my friend. You got to check it out. What was your favorite episode?
Let's see. Probably the finale. It's probably when everything really just got intense and reared its ugly head. Kid got his vindication. It's the best finale that could probably happen for Netflix. And I haven't seen a whole lot of Netflix stuff. I think that, like I said, this is probably the third Netflix program that I've watched all the way through.
Okay. So I would definitely agree with that the finale was fantastic. But outside of the finale, I'll go with episode or chapter 6, the things you do for family when Gene is killed, just because that episode really stood out with me being like, oh no, poor guy. And Theo Rossi, I wouldn't be surprised if he won for guest role in a miniseries. I really wouldn't, man.
He was good.
It could clean up come award season. It could.
Yeah, man. That's a good choice. Good episode. Really good episode. It's a recommend for me, and I'm pretty sure it might be for Dan over here.
Definitely. High recommend. Rating. And you said that you saw the trailer. I did not. I went into this totally blind. It showed up on it was number 1 on trending, and I was like, what the heck is this? Kevin Hart, Wesley Snipes, true story? It's a drama? What? It like really caught me off guard. And I love when that happens, man. I love when that, like, when something just comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh, cool, let's go. And binged it one day. What about you?
Same about, I've watched, I was not expecting it because coming into, like I said, the first episode, I was skeptical. Like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I might watch another day. Whoa, okay, the big intense scene happens. Then it keeps you hooked. And I watched all the way through. It was a great watch. Definitely worth the honor of being the third program from Netflix that I watched all the way through. Even gave it a little bit of a rewatch over Thanksgiving break before this cold came up.
I watched it twice as well, man. And I think the people out there would understand why we had to watch it twice.
Because it was that good. And that's short, not a full series.
Yeah, really quick. Like we said, the first episode's an hour, and then each episode after that is around a half an hour. So, quick math, that's around 4 hours. And that does not take long to do at all.
Right. That seems like The Irishman in the next hour.
Yeah, right. It's like one movie, one long movie.
Very much so. And it's a very good one. So, hope you guys check it out. It'll be on Netflix forever. This is a Netflix original, not something imported from another studio. And hopefully, so you'll enjoy it just like we did. Stay tuned for the next Netflix program. I want to shout out Dan from Scene Invaders once again for joining me in this little discussion.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. And maybe you can come on my program in the future. We can talk some more stuff. And yeah, if you guys want to listen to Scene Invaders, we're any podcast platform out there, just type up Scene Invaders, and there you go. Hopefully you enjoy it.
All right. That sounds good to me. You know where you can find me on the West Reviews podcast. I'm everywhere. I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere around the globe. I mean, we've got some great shows. We consistently make things. And we're at the top of our game now. Wanted to see what can happen next year in 2022. Hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion that we had over here with the spoilers, of course. And stay tuned for the next few reviews. Hope we'll be back on. And hope you have a good rest of your day. And enjoy True Story. It's a great show. You got to check it out. And hope you guys see you on the next one. Western Wonder signing out, and from Scene Invaders. He's on my angle. Camera angles are weird. Signing out.
See you guys.